Hello and welcome to That's Football, the global interactive fan channel that allows fans from all over the world supporting all different clubs to get involved, have their say and have a bit of banter. Today, the Battle of London. Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. Who had the better transfer window and who's going to be more successful this season? We're going to be getting into all that today, but first, let's start with the champions, Chelsea. They have a fantastic first 11, of course, but they needed signings. You know, I know they weren't in the Champions League, but they're not Champions League winners, so there's always room for improvement. They got signings. However, the problem lies with the fact that those signings weren't necessarily additions, they were replacements. They got in Alvaro Morata from Real Madrid for 75 million. Fantastic signing. You know, 3 appearances, 2 goals and 2 assists. But they've got rid of Diego Costa. I know he's still part of Chelsea, but they've essentially stopped playing him. They brought in Bakayoko from Monaco for 45 million, I think it was. But they got rid of Matic. So not only did they get rid of him, they got rid of him to United. He's now proving to be crucial in that team as well. They brought in Rudiger from Roma, who won 44 aerial duels in that league. But they got rid of John Terry. Yes, he's ageing, but they still got, that's still a leader. Nathan Ake, who had a fantastic season at Bournemouth, who they actually recalled from his loan spell. He would have fit perfectly in that 3-5-2 system that they play. So I think they got away with their thin squad last season, but this season they're in European football. They're going to have to play 3 games a week. They pick up a few injuries. Yes, I know they've still got Hazard to come back, and obviously they're always going to be a threat with players like Hazard, Pedro, Morata. But if they pick up a few injuries, they've got Champions League to play, FA Cup, I think you could really see them struggle. Just quickly, one more point to make about Chelsea is the fact that Conte said he was disappointed with the Matic deal. He said Matic was going to be a great loss. This suggests that there is a lack of communication between the board and the manager, which insinuates maybe there's not as much trust put in Conte than he would have wanted. So that could always be worrying for Chelsea, but I think they'll do well. However, with their squad being that thin, it obviously depends on how far they go in the Champions League. If they go far, I think they could really have a problem in the league and drop off. Now let's move to north of London, starting with Spurs. Spurs, arguably the best first team for the last 2 years. First 11, that is. But they needed strengthening in depth. They needed more squad players, and that's exactly what they've done. They've brought in Davinson Sanchez, a young centre-back from Ajax. Us Manchester United fans saw him play fantastically against us in the Europa League final. They brought in Llorente from Swansea. Yes, he's older. He's 32, I think he is. But he's Premier League proven. He's going to score goals. And I think he's a fantastic backup for Kane. They also brought in Serge Aurier at right back, in place of Kyle Walker. They've got rid of Kyle Walker for 50 million, 25 million for Serge Aurier. Not only is that arguably a better deal in terms of ability, but they made profit. For someone like Daniel Levy, that'll be fantastic for it. And, the good thing about Serge Aurier as well, Oreo, as I know Mark likes to call him, he's won things. And that's really something that Spurs lack. They lack winners. They've got a great young squad of great potential. But if you look at that squad, who's actually won things? Kane? Nothing. Dele Alli? Nothing. Great potential, but they need winners. And I think they've got that in Serge Aurier. So, all in all, fantastic squad now. You could say, they could go on to win the Premier League. However, they've moved to Wembley, and I think, as a home ground, and I think that will be the deciding factor in where they finish. They've played 11 games there so far. They've lost 8. Right, 11 games. They've lost 8. That's an absolutely dire. That's an absolutely Eric Dyer. Sorry. Pardon, that was an awful pun. Let's forget that. That's a dire record at Wembley, and I think that could be really crucial, and I think it will be in terms of where they finish. Just to give you, you guys could probably make this up in your head yourself, but I think the reason that they play so badly at Wembley is the fact that, let's say teams like Burnley, players of Burnley, they don't have the opportunity to play at Wembley ever again necessarily, so they're going to automatically step up their game and put in a harder shift than they would have, and consequently beat Spurs more often. Now moving on to the other North London club, Arsenal, arguably the laughing stock of North London. Arsenal fans, I mean, get in your comments. What do you think? It's been an absolutely terrible few months for you guys. You have managed to keep Alexis Sanchez, which is brilliant. Whether he's going to emulate his form of last season he scored 24 goals in the league. Whether his attitude will be right is still to be seen. Many people thinking, he's professional, he will be able to do it. And for Arsenal fans, I hope so, because there's not much positivity going around at the moment. They brought in Lacazette. That's a fantastic signing. 37, I think it is, goals in all competitions last season. Yes, he did play in Ligue 1, but, nonetheless, you still have to put the ball back in the net. You beat what's in front of you, and that's what he's been doing. He's, up to this point as well in the season, he's been a fantastic signing. They brought in Sead Kolasinac, the left-back, Bundesliga player of the team of the season as a left-back. Fantastic signings, but it really went downhill from there. They lost to Liverpool and Stoke in early season, sent negativity around the place, more so than there already was. They lost Oxlade-Chamberlain for 40 million. Good money, in my opinion. I was speaking to an Arsenal fan about it the other day, and he said he's not really bothered about that transfer. He respects it. It wasn't about the money. He rejected a higher pay at Chelsea. He clearly went for for footballing reasons. So, fair enough. He also said that they've got Hector Bellerin there at right wing back. Whether he still needs to be played there, that's for a later point. But they've still got Hector Bellerin, which is, arguably a better player at right wing back. So that Oxlade-Chamberlain transfer doesn't really bother Arsenal fans, from what I've heard anyway. But the problem really comes with two things. Arsene Wenger's team selection, his tactics seem to be archaic, and his team selection, he was playing Hector Bellerin at left wing back. He played Nacho Monreal at left wing back at centre-back, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, who he must have known that he was leaving or he wanted to leave. He played him in all pre-season games. He played him at right wing-back instead of Hector Bellerin. It's an absolute shambles. I think that really is their problem. And we signed a 2-year contract last season, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. The other problem is they've got many players on their on the last year of their contract, notably Ozil and Sanchez. Sanchez with the possibility to leave in January. Whether that will happen or not, I'm not sure. But that kind of sends instability, the feeling of instability, just it makes the place unsure and unstable, and it really isn't a good thing to have. So with Arsenal, you're not getting top 4, and you know what, I think maybe not. But if Sanchez goes in January, I think Everton might finish above you, and if Sanchez goes in January, you've really got problems. And I think as long as Wenger stays there, you're going to have the same problems. I think it's time for him to go. That's my opinion. I'm going to go with Arsenal Fan TV and say Wenger out. But it's really not looking up for Arsenal. So overall, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal. I think Arsenal will finish outside the top 4, along with Spurs, actually. Chelsea finishing in that top 4, along with Liverpool, United and City, where I think 3rd, but it is dependent on how far they go in the Champions League. So that is that for this video. I hope you've enjoyed the Battle of London. So please give it a like. Please subscribe. It is a new channel, and just show it loads of love. Thank you very much. I'm Sana Seegers, and I'll see you in the next video.